here on Earth. We want to turn now here on Live Impact News to an update that we're seeing on bird flu. This is coming to us out of Ohio, where we're seeing Governor Mike DeWine and the Secretary of Agriculture Brooke Rollins in Darke County, Ohio, discussing impacts to area farms because of avian influenza, which we know here in the Carolinas has been confirmed in some of our flocks. But let's listen in on what they have to say.
That was a massive signal to our farmers and our ranchers that we are realigning the U.S. Department of Agriculture, not around, diversity, equity, and inclusion, not around sending grants to San Francisco for transgender and queer farmers, not around studying the menstrual cycles of transgender mice, but instead around our farmers and our ranchers. And that's some of the money that we did realign to move into that billion-dollar plan to help our producers. Any questions? Yes. Yeah, talking about, just so everyone can hear that, talking about the potential of using eggs from other sources such as broilers. And yes, we are in conversations about that, and will continue to be so as the repopulation takes place.
Yeah. Are you seeing other states impact it like Ohio has?
Well, let me say this. Governor DeWine may know those numbers better than I, so I'll let him have the microphone, but there is no doubt that this state has been impacted, if not the most, in the top 1, 2, or 3. That's why I wanted to get here as soon as I could. And in all of the other states that I've visited up until this point, which have also been impacted, from Iowa to Georgia to other states, and I don't ever want to say that, it's not as big a deal there, but there is no doubt where we stand today in this county and the adjacent county and in these producers that I just met with for the last hour and a half, that there's no part of America that has been more ravaged with the avian bird flu than where we stand right now. And so that's why we're here. Hopefully I'll be able to get back here sooner rather than later, but we'll stay in constant touch with the governor, with your ag director, and with these farmers to ensure that we can get this back. I don't know if you want to talk about that. No, Governor. Oh, all good?
You good?
All right. Yes, sir.
They got more questions.
Another concern is school. Recently, over the weekend, you sent a letter to the Mexican ambassador about it.
Yeah, it hasn't hit it really as serious here in Ohio as it is in our border states, but the screwworm is making its way up Mexico through our cattle industry. I sent a very strongly worded letter to my counterpart in Mexico. We do that in the Trump administration. We send very strongly worded messages. But in fact, before I walked in to this incredible facility, I was on the phone with my counterpart in Mexico, the Secretary of Agriculture there, talking about the screwworm, talking about how to solve for the issues that were in that letter. Specifically, the United States Department of Agriculture has the solution for the screwworm as it makes its way up and through Mexico, but we couldn't land our planes that has the sterile flies in the planes that will solve for that. So again, probably a little out of context here in egg-laying soy and corn country, but I appreciate that, and I think it's an important point that we will fight every minute of every day for American farmers and ranchers and to put Americans first. There is no doubt about that. Even if you disagree with our policies, even if you didn't vote for President Trump, it can't be lost on anyone in this country that every minute that we are fighting for every American, and for me, that's for our farmers and our ranchers. So we came to an agreement with Mexico on that issue. More will be released on that in the next few hours. You'll see that, but it came to a good resolution. So thank you. One more question? Yes, ma'am. Everywhere I go, the question is, what am I most impressed with here in Ohio? And the heart of these people and the heart of this industry, and I talked about this a little bit inside too. I think what a lot of people don't realize is that these egg producers and these egg farmers, but they're reflective of the larger agriculture industry, from the big family farms to those that may just have, let's say dairy, a couple hundred cows, or may just farm 50 acres of wheat, that so much of this is multi-generational, that the egg farmers we were talking to today, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th generation farmers, and their legitimate question in their heart is, is this going to be a viable way for the 6th generation or 7th generation of their families to make a living? And my response is there's no alternative. We have to make it viable, and we have to make it so that there's prosperity there, and they want their next generations, their grandchildren and their grandchildren's children, to be in this industry and in this effort, because if we don't have food security in America, if we don't support these farmers and make it so that their kids and their grandkids have the opportunity to continue running incredible businesses like this one, then we will lose our country. These efforts are the backbone of America, and if we don't continue to make them viable, and the great work of our ag director, and we've got a state representative here and a state senator, and it's an all of the above approach, I believe we will get there. I think that with tax cuts and deregulation and less spending and focusing on our farmers and ranchers, which is all part of President Trump's vision, that we will get there. And in 4 years, when hopefully I walk out, hopefully there for 4 years, but when I walk out, we will see a new era of prosperity, not just for all of America, but for rural America, and specifically in our agriculture community, because when that happens, all of us prosper and all of us succeed. All right, everybody, what a joy to be here. God bless America, and God bless the great people of Ohio. Thank you all so much.
We're just hearing there a briefing from U.S. Secretary of Agriculture Brooke Rollins talking about the impacts of avian flu in the Ohio area. There was a tour alongside Ohio Governor Mike DeWine where they visited 2 area farms, meeting with egg producers and poultry producers. And of course, as far as bigger picture, we know that these are discussions that are happening in many states across the nation, where farmers are now trying to figure out how do they kind of pick up the pieces after a very devastating impact of bird flu. And of course, as consumers, we see it at the grocery store with higher egg prices and perhaps less access or sourcing of eggs when we go to the grocery store. But this is a discussion that we talked about a few moments ago that is underway in the Carolinas, as we know that there are backyard flocks and also turkey growers where they've got issues with this highly pathogenic avian influenza, and they've got to figure out how to repopulate their flocks.